let's go to the X.
Today, the Saskatoon Exhibition Fair welcomes visitors to a fun-filled week of family entertainment.
Well, we're putting on a show, and the only place to go is at the X. You can walk it, you can stroll it, you can rock it and roll it at the X. Yeah, let's go to the X.
But if you think it's fun today, 100 years ago they were celebrating with such spirit that it drew eager participants from hundreds of miles around and dazzled thousands with a down-home entertainment and festive air that would be hard to beat, even by today's standards. In a moment, we'll look back to the early days and discover a determined and spirited organization that helped to spur the growth of a community and in the process itself became an institution that's still growing 100 years later.
C+, it's hard work being number one. You want more when the job is done. Go for that extra, go for C+. Reach for the top, give it your best shot. Go for that extra, go for that extra, go for C+.
Natural fruit flavor is the plus in C+, regular and sugar-free.
Go for that extra, go for C+.
Go for it!
We thought we'd outgrown this house until we saw what we'd have to pay for something larger. So we decided to build an addition. And because of the equity we've built up on our home through the years, HFC is helping us with an Equity Plus mortgage loan. We're doing the best we can, and HFC is helping us along the way.
HFC.
We're here to help along the way.
In 1882, the Temperance Colonization Society arrived in Saskatoon. 2 years later, they formed the Temperance Colony Pioneer Society. And following that, they were officially recognized as the Central Saskatchewan Agricultural Society. Of course, they were anxious to recognize the efforts of a growing community and to have a little fun. So they organized their first summer fair. It was a one-day event and was held at the top of the long hill on the south side of the river. There was no admission charged, but they did offer prizes. $2 for the best horses and cattle. Special prizes included an offering of 50 cents for the best darn socks and the best pair of patched pants. Government funding was then approved, and the fair became an annual event. In 1903, City Park became home for the fair, until the citizens realized they had a need for permanent buildings. You see, what they'd been doing is hiring out lumber at $10 a thousand feet, building something, and then tearing it down annually. So in 1908, the Society purchased 160 acres here. And to this date, they've stayed here on the exhibition grounds. Several buildings were put up that first year, including this grandstand, which is still in use today. Since many visitors arrived from out of town, the Society offered accommodations. In the 1920s, ads like this were still appearing, offering tent rental for only $5 a week and plenty of room for the car. The newly formed exhibition quickly gained in reputation and soon attained Class A status. It encouraged competition in horse breeding, dairy and beef livestock, poultry and sheep. Prominent in the early 1900s in horse breeding was the name Robert Thomas. His son Howard Thomas recalls those days.
He showed all over. In fact, regularly went to Toronto. He showed sometimes at Chicago. Had been out to the Vancouver. And that was all by rail. We usually slept where the horses were, and we'd probably just get something to eat that we could fix ourselves was not very fancy. And of course the horses had to be fed, and they had to be walked, and they had to be brushed and curried and probably legs rubbed. And then showtime, we had a white outfit that we would dress to. Sort of the idea was if we looked dressed well, it made the horse look dressed too. It seems to me about 10 was fairly common, or 12. That was the number that would fit into one boxcar, and we always moved from one place to another with boxcars.
In the early days, the exhibition provided a forum for new ideas in farming technology and for business. As well, the exhibition became the major social event of the summer and was celebrated by thousands.
Dear Edith, I would have written to you before this, my dear, but I did not care to set down the impressions I received when I came here 2 months ago. I thought the sinking sensation I had when I saw the bare prairies might just be acute homesickness. I miss my friends and the hills and the trees, and I do not think I am ever going to get used to the great distances and the universe of brown grass. My people want me to go into Saskatoon, about 100 miles from here, next month to see the fair. You know, we used to go to the Toronto Exhibition about every year when I lived in Orillia, and I am sure if I went to see the poor little show in Saskatoon, the result would only be to increase my disappointments in the country generally. I do not want to go.
I may go hard on some of my projects, but I go soft on saving money. No kidding. Here's my secret, the Northbrook from Culligan. If you thought Culligan was expensive, you just haven't found the Northbrook. It's brand new. Designed by Culligan to give you softer hair, clearer skin, fluffier towels, and a huggable dog. For only $599, about 3 cents a day. Ask your Culligan dealer about the all-new Northbrook. Go on, call Culligan in the white pages.
Here's something new, so you'd better look twice. Yes, it's Labatt's Light, and don't it look nice? You see, the bottle's brand new, with a twist off cap too. Still tastes light and so smooth, and it's looking so new. Yes, it's Labatt's Light.
The Drapery Shop should be the household name whenever you think about custom-made draperies and blinds. The reason is that the Drapery Shop has so much more to offer than anyone else. We have no obligation shop-at-home decorator service, in-stock inventory, an installation department, and our own factory. You are dealing with the manufacturer and importer, and we pass the savings on to you. For fabric and selection, no one can compete with us, and we stock over $3 million worth of inventory. So take it from me, Steve Hyman. Why not call today for free shop-at-home decorator service?
You want a great slide? Waterworks has it. You gotta come for the ride. The Renaissance has it. So refreshing and cool. Take a dip in the pool at the Waterworks. At the Renaissance. Bring the family out. Waterworks has it. And find what fun is about. The Renaissance has it. If you want a great time where the water is fine, come to the Waterworks.
The Waterworks at the Renaissance Hotel, downtown Saskatoon.
Dearest Edith, I'm afraid I was in a very pessimistic mood when I wrote you last, but I must say that when you get used to it, Saskatchewan is a pretty good place to live. Perhaps the visit I paid to Saskatoon 2 weeks ago is what caused me to change my mind to some extent. Let me tell you about the exhibition. I never got such a surprise in my life. It took us quite a long time to get there because there was about as big a crowd as I have ever seen anywhere, and the road was simply choked with automobiles between the city and the fairgrounds, which are about a mile from the center of the city. Well, I expected to see a country fair. I did not. You could put our little country fair in one corner of the grounds and no one would ever know it was there. There was a grandstand which would hold about 7,000 people and did hold about 8,000. More people, to tell you the truth, than I thought there were in the whole province. Father got stalled in front of the machinery exhibit and I could not get him away. But when I got off by myself and started to wander through the buildings, there was so much to see that I forgot all about him, and we nearly had to have the police to find each other. To put it briefly, it was the best 3 days I have had since coming to Saskatchewan, and I am not at all too sure that it was not the best 3 days I've ever had. When you are planning your visit west next summer, you must arrange to get here during the exhibition week, for I'm certainly going to be there, and I want you with me. Your old friend, Catherine.
To many, it came to symbolize that pioneer spirit that had been brought west by the early settlers. Certainly fairs helped communities like Saskatoon to grow and feel good about themselves, while others fell by the wayside. And the reason for this growth, too, were the innovative ideas that the exhibition had in those days, such as the choice of an exhibition queen. Women from across the province entered the competition. People were asked to clip the coupon out of the paper and send it in with the name of their favorite. The winner here received over 1 million votes. Quite astonishing for a newly born province, except that there was one clever catch. Each coupon represented 10,000 votes. Thus, the losers would still feel that they were well represented in popularity. Exhibitions were mainly agricultural, the ladies also had a chance to show their special talents. The homemakers competition showed the finest breads and preserves, jams and jellies to be found anywhere in our province. And it was all in search of those elusive red and blue ribbons. The excitement would build all year long for the school children. Even their scribblers advertised the upcoming exhibition, which gave them the chance to enter and display their finest schoolwork. Long in coming was the day when they could see who amongst their peers took first place. Exhibition of the newest and latest innovations for home and business has always been a major attraction, where businessmen tout their finest wares, and where thousands dream of owning that which would make life just a little better. Since its very inception, the exhibition has been a showplace for agricultural equipment. Machinery Row has always shown the finest agricultural implements to be found anywhere in the world and continues to draw countless visitors from across the land. Racing has always been a major attraction during exhibition week. Like most major sports, the sport of kings has its die-hard fans too. Some, like Peter Clark, who have been following racing here for 25 years, might even be prompted to admit in the old days they came to the exhibition mainly for the racing.
I still like it. I don't miss very often. I miss a lot of races, but I don't miss coming here very often. My dad used to like to spend 10 days out here. He had to sleep out here and be out early in the morning like these guys that exercise horses. And his name, like I say, he used to have to get up early and get started, and there was two of them sprinkling at the time with, wooden tanks, take long enough take. I don't think you've ever seen one. And they put their foot on it, and if he wanted to spray anybody, he'd just put his foot on it and spray the girl or the guy.
Fred LeBuic's association with racing at the exhibition stretches back about 35 years. Many longtime racing fans will recall the Daily Double restaurant that Fred used to operate at the old track. Fred is now paddock custodian at Marquis Downs.
The old racetrack, we used to have a lot of problems there. With rain, we couldn't race, and then a lot of times it gets so bad that the horses trip and this and that, and then we finally get tractor and pull a bunch of iron there. Once we hook a chain and we pull half a Model T Ford out of the old track. So that was quite a thing, and then we had to fill the hole back. And now we got changes. We got one nice track here, and also we got a nice grandstand. Now here lately we got a nice bar and a nice cafe.
With a little prompting, many fond memories of the old days come to mind, and many close calls too.
Oh, I remember way back when we had a girl from California. She was on the starting gate with a big Cadillac, and on the far side she hit one of the irons and she blew the tire, and she was hitting the fans, and she got away from the horses, and finally she stopped there. But that was a close shave for everybody.
Conditions at the old track for both patrons and employees were at times less than ideal. But regardless of any hardships, many incidents are still remembered with a smile today.
To house all the people who were working, we were in a little addition off from the grandstand called the hen house. It was obviously called that because there were all women working in there at that time, except myself. All your racing was being squeezed down into the 1 week. We never saw standardbreds at all. It was always thoroughbreds. The one big difference, of course, came when we came over to this track here and started standardbred racing. First time I'd ever seen the carts. It's probably we had bigger crowds then, yes, because everything was being concentrated into that 1 week. Although the daily handle wouldn't be that much different. We were getting a lot of $2 bettors. We have more of the people now who are betting more than the $2 ticket. Especially, what did we have in those days? We had a daily double. We might have one exacta race. We might have one quinella race. The others were just standard betting, straight betting, in the whole 8 or 10 race program. Certainly triactor betting we had never heard of. That came with the facilities here.
Pari-mutuel betting has undergone numerous improvements since those early cumbersome days at the old track.
Little pieces of cardboard, one bet, one ticket. So that if you were to bet, and they were, for instance, on my $20 window, if somebody were to come along and want to bet $100, that was 5 tickets. $2 window, that's all you put out were $2 tickets. If a person came to a $2 ticket and wanted to place a $50 bet, he was walking away with 25 little pieces of cardboard. Nothing as concentrated as 5 or 6 bets on one ticket that we have now.
Buy Right Furniture is better.
Don't miss out on these most wanted, hard-to-get home items at ridiculous low cash-and-carry prices.
5-piece wicker group with love seat, only $119.
Lamp stand, $19.
Brass hall tree, $29.
Bentwood rocker, $48.
Bentwood coat rack, $14.
Magazine end table, $29.
Brass magazine rack, $11.99.
All wood nesting tables, $39.
Buy Right Furniture, serving your area from Regina, Saskatoon, and Prince Albert. Sail on now.
Introducing Michelle, one of this year's most exciting young artists. Michelle's in a blue mood today because she's wearing a saggy diaper that leaks. Well, here's Huggies, Michelle. Huggies are form-fitting disposable diapers with soft, gentle elastic to help stop leaking. So Huggies Hug to help keep babies dry and comfortable. Thick, absorbent Huggies diapers help keep babies dry and help Michelle go from a blue mood to where she's tickled pink.
Men just can't help acting on impulse. That's Impulse, the irresistible body spray with a gentle deodorant in a range of captivating fragrances. Impulse.
You know, down here in the U.S. of A., we think you folks up in Canada got a real good thing going. Talking about your Molson Canadian beer. Got a good, honest taste to it, like that. Buddy of mine brought some back for me. Real good, buddy. Gotta hand it to you Canadians. You sure know how to brew a fine, fine beer. Kinda makes me wonder why I'm living here.
Until 1970, 2 independent summer shows had been held in Saskatoon. Pioneera at the old Western Development Site featured a recreation of pioneer activities from the past. On the other side of the river, the Saskatoon Summer Exhibition was held. Many attempts to merge the 2 shows had been made in the past. Perhaps one of the most novel suggestions to bring the 2 shows together was a monorail system that would have run across the river, linking the 2 show sites. Another version in the same vein proposed a cable car system over the river. But Pioneera expelled its last breath of steam as an independent show in the summer of 1969. The Western Development Museum was later located on the grounds of the Saskatoon Exhibition. It became home to the Threshermen's Society, which houses some of the finest original agricultural equipment to be found anywhere. Included in that collection is a calliope, one of only two which exist in Canada. Early in the 1970s, the concept of one big show finally materialized. To date, the Pioneer Circle remains a popular and colorful center of activity during Exhibition Week. A popular attraction that used to pack them in during Exhibition Week was the annual Exhibition Baseball Tourney. It began under the auspices of J.F. Cairns in 1922, attracting teams from the old Northern Saskatchewan League and the Midwest League, drawing in its heyday as many as 20 teams from nearby like Unity, Kindersley, Neilburg, Asquith, Eston, Melfort, and Colonsay. Teams vied for the top prize money. There was also additional prize money offered for the best dressed team, the pitcher who got the most strikeouts during the tournament, money for the first home run and the most hits during the tournament. It was a week-long tourney that attracted fans from across northern Saskatchewan. As the exhibition continued to grow and demands for additional space became paramount, exhibition baseball saw its demise after 48 years. Even today, some will say it's still missed.
I remember when I was seeing him when I was a kid. He'd come to the fair, and and this is basically what I'm remembering, I guess. But you'd see him coming down the street with his white suit and white hat and cane, and just stepping right out. As much everybody kind of stepped aside.
The association between the Board of Trade and the exhibition has helped to spawn many strong community-minded individuals. These citizens have been influential in helping promote the city as a thriving and industrious community worthy of recognition across the province and indeed throughout the country. Many Saskatoonians will remember names like Grant McEwen, Sid Johns, Steve McEachran, and Elwood Hart, now General Manager of the Canadian Association of Exhibitions in Toronto. Although the exhibition is 6 days long, for many it was actually 7. Scotchman's Day was treated as the first day when thousands of people would line up to await the arrival of the Royal American Shows train.
And that still exists. Sunday is still a day here, but it's not like it was when Royal American used to come in with their train, and everybody would stand out and watch them pull the stuff off, and and set up and so on. That was a big day here. Sunday was a big day, and it's still a fairly big day if the weather's nice. We get some of our concessionaires say they make the first couple of days' rent on Sunday.
The tension and excitement ran high as the train unloaded, and a vacant lot was transformed into a spectacular midway. The grandstand has been home to many internationally renowned performers. The likes of Frank Fontaine, Henny Youngman, Rich Little, the Elkins Sisters, and Sabu the Elephant graced the stage. For many years, Don Keeler was involved with the backup orchestras.
Well, we used to do 2 shows a night, 7:30 and 9:30. And it was quite a thrill to look out there and see 10,000 people on the grandstand and also on the bleachers. And it was, to me, one of the biggest parts of the exhibition. It was excitement, and people looked forward to that variety show, professional variety show. So I would say we would do 12 shows in the week. In the latter years, we got back to 1 show a night, which would be 6 shows in the week. In 1978, we had a tiger on stage, Ron Urban, the magician. And I recall on the Saturday night, we had this tiger backstage. And this little girl, Gloria Ann Carrier, was going to come on stage and sing, and I was standing just a few feet from her, and she put her hand in to pet the kitty. Well, I grabbed her hand just in time. I said, let's go on stage with 2 hands, but she didn't realize it. This tiger's a live animal, wild animal, and I just grabbed her wrist in time, I think. Lawrence Welk show was a wonderful show to play. They were very nice people to work with. We had 9 shows that week, plus the RCMP musical ride, 6 shows. There was 15 shows and 3 rehearsals in the 1 week, which was rather a full week.
The exhibition has grown tremendously over the past century, and every summer becomes the 3rd largest employer in Saskatoon.
Well, on a 4 or 5 month basis now, we probably have 150, 200 people on the grounds working for us, whether it be part-time or full-time. And it is, I wish I had the figures for you, but we are, and I just heard this that not too long ago, that we are about one of the 2nd or 3rd in line in payroll in the city.
The exhibition this year promises to be just as exciting as ever. Exhibition Marketing Manager, Vince Dodds.
The crown gates that you see were built in 1939 to commemorate the visit of King George VI and Queen Elizabeth to Saskatoon and, in fact, across Western Canada. And it's very difficult to imagine at this time this great space that is around me that is void of any particular activity. In a few days will be just absolutely jammed with thousands of people, with displays, events, and activities that we've planned for the 1984 exhibition, which is our centennial year. Some examples of what we have lined up for this year for new venues and new attractions are at the Stadium Building, which this year will be a major show stage and display area. We have the Lumberjack Show, which is a new attraction.
It's really probably the highlight of the whole show. These 2 high riggers go up and down that in about 20 to 21 seconds, 65 feet up and down, faster than I can run on the ground.
From Oklahoma has already tied one in 9.9 seconds. Boys actually paid to put their lives on the line. Most.
With the left toe to the left hand, right in there. Now.
This year's exhibition will kick off Sunday afternoon with QC8's Louis Riel Day. Activities are underway all afternoon in Kiwanis Park, with a Louis Riel relay race starting at 3:30. The excitement continues all week at the exhibition grounds with a lineup of entertainment and exhibitions for the entire family. The exhibition has come a long way since its inception. Today you can even have your fortune told or your handwriting analyzed by computer. If its first century is any indication, the Saskatoon Exhibition will continue to keep a tradition intact that began 100 short years ago and is still growing. Congratulations to the manager, directors, and staff, plus the hundreds of volunteers that make the Saskatoon Exhibition the tremendous success it is today. Crest follows on Saskatoon Television.